As you've been hearing, there is a research project taking place parallel to this conference. I've been working with Mary Kirk yesterday and this morning, and on occasion parachuting in here with 9 fantastic young students from Norway, Belgium, and from Ireland. And we've had a fascinating time together fleshing out answers to some of the questions that you've been highlighting here. My task is simply to update you or tell you a little bit or allow you to parachute into our focus group. 2 of the members of the group, Seppa and Colin, are joining me here, and they'll say something about what was happening yesterday and today. Just as a way of fleshing out or letting you see into our work, one of the questions that we pondered at some length was this one. Tell me the stories, or tell me a story about a teacher you met. And tell me the story about when that teacher was being their very best. What would you tell me? What kind of stories would you tell me? And I suppose that's a good story because it's positive. And it's not one of those negative stories that too many of us, well, all of us probably have, that we can too easily tell about teachers who are not at their best, or not doing their best, or in fact sometimes even abusive in their relationship with us. When we gathered the stories together, I think, and I haven't got any disagreement from my student friends, that there were 2 kinds of stories they told. One kind of story had to do with the teacher who was doing really wonderful teaching when they answered questions or commented on my writing, when they corrected things that I did, or who helped me understand something better. And that was one kind of superb teaching that the students clearly identified. But there was a second kind of teaching that's not as easily described. But it has to do with a teacher who very clearly supported each student, who supported them with understanding, who vouched for them, I suppose, is the word that they used. That the teacher vouched for someone and said, you can do this, I know you can. And even in situations that were quite difficult, the teacher still stayed with the student. Not only that, but they supported them in their success. They encouraged them, and above all, and I'm trying to use the words that the students used, they believed in them. And that's a wonderful relationship to have with a teacher. And it is now, I think, one of the findings of the research that you talked about setting up. And I'm going to invite Seppa and Colin to come up and just talk a little bit in their words about their experience of good teaching.
Hello, I'm Seppa. I'm one of the students of the student focus group. When I was in my 5th year of high school, I was not motivated at all. I think I got used to not doing well in school and also meeting my limitations a lot. So in the end of the year, I failed a couple of my classes, and they had all the teachers together and the principal to discuss if I could pass the year or not. One of my teachers, my biology teacher, he told the other teachers that he would, I think, like vouch for me, and he would put like he put himself on the line basically, and he met with me the next year once a month to see how everything was doing, if I was doing well in my classes, if my homework was going well, and I passed my last year of high school with honors. So for me, it made all of the difference, because if I had to repeat my year before that, I think I would gotten like more demotivated and even more upset with the school system. So the fact that he put himself on the line to helped me and tutor me, I guess, that made, for me personally, all of the difference. So.
Hi, my name is Colin. I'm a fourth-year student in NUI Galway, the west of Ireland. I was asked to describe a teacher also that inspired me, and I'm going to talk about my mathematics teacher in secondary school. I was a very weak student at maths myself, and it took me that bit longer to understand how to do different calculations, etc. And because there was so much in the course, the teacher wasn't able to explain everything to me at the rate that the class were going, so I had to get extra help outside school from another maths teacher, and she explained everything according to my ability, and she led me to believe, she inspired me, and she always said I could do anything I wanted if I put my mind to it, and she led me in my way that I was able to do, that I was good at, to do stuff I was good at. And it was from her that I really got my inspiration and was able to go to college and continue my education that way. Thank you.
These discussions were led by Mary Kirk, so thanks Colin, Seppa and Mary and all the other students as well. What does this mean? Before coffee break, I want to just take 5 minutes, if I can, just to very quickly respond to this kind of data, as we call it in research. It means, in very simple terms, it's the relationship, stupid. Okay? It's the relationship, students. So if we talk to students, that's what they tell us. They tell us that for them, learning and education, it's about the relationship. What does a psychologist or an educator make of this? That too is very simple. And if you allow me just for 1 second to go back to childhood, we know that very young children will only grow and develop in the context of a relationship. If there is no relationship, the infant will not survive. Are you with me? And if you allow me just to fill in all the blanks very quickly and pass over them and say this, that's also true of adults. And that's something that we don't know very well. But it's deeply embedded in the same psychology of Bowlby and Winnicott and more recently of Axel Honneth, who tell us that an environment of support and respect and recognition and the environment of a good relationship is the environment in which people grow and thrive and develop and shine. It's true for infants, it's true for children, it's true for adults. And just let me prove the adult bit, because people often say, oh, I wonder, you're saying we're like children. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, if you think of a really good relationship between, say, partners in a marriage or in a close relationship, what is it about that that works? It's exactly the same support, encouragement, unconditional regard for each other, recognition, celebration, emotional attachment, hearing each other very clearly all the time and supporting everything that each other does. We grow and develop in those relationships. If they're the opposite of that, they undermine us and sometimes destroy us. They certainly undermine our self-confidence. They can even destroy our identity. If we bring that kind of knowledge into education, then we say, like I began saying, it's the relationship, stupid. And of course, this is a huge challenge for teachers. It's a bigger challenge for lecturers in university, most of whom are not trained to do what they're paid to do. They're trained to split the atom, to cure cancer, to cure dogs, to do archaeology, anthropology, sociology, to write novels, to create music. If you wonder how many of them are trained to teach, you come up with a very low figure. And the students this morning, in their latest discussions, have talked about the problem of having teachers and university lecturers who are not trained to do or be teachers. And finally, as we say in Irish, focal skur, my departing word to you is this. This is also a big challenge for the universal design of learning, isn't it? Because it's relatively easy to design a lecture. You can describe, Einstein's theory of relativity in 20 slides, or maybe less. You can design your learning environment to explain almost anything. But how can you train people, teach people, and design a learning experience where the relationship is key? That's the challenge, it seems to me, for the UDL, for the Universal Design of Learning. And how do we train people, and how do we include that agenda in designing our programme? I only want to say one more thing, and that is to check out with my student colleagues if there's anything I've left out that they want to add to that. Because they've always added something up to now, so they're saying no. They've just said no, so that's all right. Thank you very much.